All right. Hey, everybody. Welcome to day 3 of the masterclass. I am going to start especially slow today because there was a bit of confusion with the room. So sorry, guys, if you got a notification for like 3 different rooms to join. But the good news is this replay can and should live in the Facebook group. So even if you're unable to join Team Live or if you join a little bit late, you can watch it later. In addition, you guys should all be getting the replay emails. So if you have a friend that's not on Facebook that's interested, or you I don't know, don't want to watch this on Facebook, you can find it on YouTube as well, and I monitor that too. So if you guys have any comments or questions and they pop up on YouTube, I will see them. But looks like we're slowly getting some people into the room, so you know the drill, guys. Let me know that you are Team Live. Let me know that you're here and that you are ready to talk all things motivation. You're ready to go, and we'll hop right into it while we wait for those comments to trickle in, though. So I think that I'm on a bit of a lag. So as you're watching this, if I'm just staring into the abyss for 30 seconds, it's because I'm waiting for the feed to catch up so that I can see who all is here. Hey, Brenda, welcome to Team Live. So glad you can make it. But before we get going, I want to do a little bit of housekeeping. I know that we've been talking about, you may or may not have seen that I'm doing giveaways. You may or may not have seen that I'm offering freebies to anyone that's joining. So let's quickly go over that. I have 2 giveaways going on, and it's all on a point system. So the more that you interact, the more points that you will get. It's just me over here, and I'm trying to make sure I keep a very accurate track of all of the points that are going through. So expect to see the giveaway winners announced. I would love to say by Friday, but by Sunday at the very latest, and I'll announce it here in the Facebook page. So how can you continue to get points? 1, introduce yourself on the page. Let us know where you're joining from. Let us know if you consider yourself a runner. Share a picture of yourself. Whatever you want to do, just do that. Interact on some other, introductions that you see. Say hello. If these videos resonate with you, share them on your page, tag a friend in the comments, inviting friends into the group. I can see, if you invited someone, those all give you points. The point of this, the point for the points, the point of this, yes, is to help me and this wonderful, beautiful small business of mine grow, but more than anything, it is my highest desire and wish to continue to grow this community. And I love connecting with every single one of you, but I want you to connect with each other. So help me help you. Please introduce yourself to people. Please connect with each other, and cheer each other on. Ask questions, all of it. So the 2 winners, as I mentioned, the person with the most points will be getting 1 month of free coaching. This person with the second amount of points will be getting a Mindful Miles swag bag from me. And there's always a ton of goodies that I send out. So I like to send a t-shirt, for those of you that can see, a t-shirt. I'm thinking about switching to hats eventually. Team Mindful Miles, if you're in the chat and you would prefer a hat over a t-shirt, let me know. I'm a hat gal, so I selfishly just want one for myself. But yeah, some awesome products that I swear by, all kinds of good stuff. And then in addition to anyone who's watching this, if you are interested in joining my coaching program, whether it's one-on-one or whether it's group, if you apply to the program and you are accepted, I'll also be giving 2 weeks of free coaching to you as well. But let's get into it. Hat would be awesome. All right, Brenda, you convinced me. Mark in the house. Good to see you, bud. Jesse, Lauren. Awesome. Good to see everybody. So as normal, I want to set the stage. I want to see where we're all at today in talking about motivation, not notifications. So I've got 1 of 3 prompts that I want to hear from you guys. Let me know if you're 1, 2, 3, or all of the above. So give me a 1 in the chat if you say you're going to do something. You say you're going to go on a run. You say you're going to get, in shape. You say you're going to train for that 5K. But you really struggle to get out the door. So the motivation is there to do it in theory, but physically getting your body out the door is really hard. So give me a 1 in the chat if that's you. Give me a 2 in the chat if you're like, no, I'll do it. But the problem, Sarah, is that running is boring. I get so bored on my runs. I don't know what to do. I don't know where to look. I'm just kind of bopping around, and I find running to be very boring. And then give me a 3 in the chat if you struggle with the motivation to stay consistent. So you go through this yo-yo where you will run for a week or a month straight, and then it's great, and then you can't really do it for 3 months. You take a time off, and then you're kind of struggling to get back into it. So a 1 if you struggle to get out the door, a 2 if you find running super boring, and a 3 if you struggle to find the motivation to stay running for the long run. Harley says 1 and 3. Awesome. All right, got a couple more coming in. I will say, as a running coach, I get 2 the most. People are like, running is boring. And I say, no, it's not. Your approach to running is boring. So we'll get into that a little bit more. But let's talk specifically about, okay, lots of 3s. Yeah, consistency is the hardest part. I totally get it. And I'm going to, maybe we could start with 3 today. So struggling with the motivation to stay consistent. I view running and the activity itself and the people who enjoy it in probably 2 buckets. So there's the crazy people like me. I will happily raise my hand and say, I love running. Talk to me about running. I could talk ad nauseum about it. I'll run anytime. I'll do this. I'll do that. I run throughout the year because I enjoy it. But there's also people who love running, but not throughout the year. They go through phases. I like running, but I also like to lift. I like running, but I also like to cycle. I like running, but I also like to walk or read or not do anything at all. And that's fine. And I think whichever bucket you fall into, and let me know if you're a year-round runner or a year-round hopeful runner, let's hear it. But if you're a here and there runner, just type in the comments here and there runner. Either of those are fine. I think it's you just have to come to the understanding with yourself that you're a runner no matter what. No matter what season you decide to show up, you are a runner. But the consistency part of it is when I'm not running, what else am I doing? Like we said yesterday, to 1, have fun, but to 2, to stay healthy and honor my body. Because you have to find some sort of movement that your body enjoys and that it appreciates. Because if you force yourself into the former bucket of I'm going to be a year-round runner, and that's really not you, but you're saying I've got to do it to be able to prove to myself that I'm a runner or whatever this arbitrary rule is, you're going to get burnt out. You're going to get really annoyed. You're going to get frustrated. That's where you see stress fractures. That's where you see injuries. That's where you see just like a lot of all the hangry memes and things like that. So I think too is it's like finding that wheelhouse of the things you enjoy and knowing that it's okay to do a mixture of them. I have been that person. So I've been a runner my entire life. You guys know this by now. And throughout high school and college, I did weight train, but I was afraid to do anything else because I was so committed to my running that I didn't want that to take away from it. Now, I don't have a coach or a team that I need to compete for. It's just me. It's my own mental health. It's my own life. So I lift, I cross train, I do whatever my body says I want to do. Majority of the time, I'd say 70 to 80% of my workouts are running. But I do a whole lot more other things than I ever did. And 1, I'm more consistent, I have fun, and I'm running just as fast, if not, well, not right now because I'm pregnant, but before I was running just as fast, if not faster. So there is this incredible ratio, guys, where it's like, yes, you can push yourself, but also if you give yourself the opportunity to just have fun and to explore and let your body do what it wants to do, you can do that too. I talked to so many people. I think, Melissa, I saw on maybe an introduction that you made, you said that you were training for a half marathon. Well, you don't have to run every day to train for a half marathon. I know tons of people, I've coached tons of people that run 2 days a week, 3 days a week, and they do other things to supplement, and they're able to get to that distance perfectly fine, perfectly healthy and happy. So I think too is it's like you really have to ask yourself what your goals are. If you have like serious time goals, then yeah, you're going to probably have to put a little bit more time on your feet. But if you just want to have fun and see what your body's capable of doing, you can do all kinds of things. So that's kind of, let's move on from that. Yes, all good stuff, guys. Thank you so much for the comments. Yes, here and there runners. Lots of here and there runners, and that's perfectly fine. In terms of motivation itself, there's really two types of motivation. There's external and there's internal motivators. And the way that I describe it to a lot of my athletes is you need to have this tool belt ready at all times of the motivation that you need in order to get yourself to keep going, in order to want to keep going, in order to push yourself. Now, let me stop and pause here for a minute and acknowledge that this can feel like a bit of a contradiction. So, for those of you that have been on the page for a while, you maybe personally know me or you follow me on Instagram, you may know that I'm a huge advocate for intuitive eating and mindful movement. And what that is, in sum, is really just learning to listen to your body and what it needs. And so, the contradiction of mindful movement and listening to your body, but also needing to stay motivated to do it, can be very hard at first as you're learning that, because you really have to ask yourself, do I want to run or do I not want to run? Am I feeling lazy today? What's happening inside me that I can't find the motivation to run? Is it just the repetition? If so, that's okay. You have to learn to push yourself. But if something's going on, if maybe you're too stressed out, if maybe your body just needs rest and this is its way of telling you, or there's an injury or anything, there's so many different things going on. The number one thing you have to do is learn to listen to your body and what it's telling you. And so this is the toughest part of, I would say, probably the entire journey, because as athletes, as people who, know crazy runners, know crazy powerlifters, whatever, you see it on social media, all you see is them getting after it. And so you're like, I should be that person too. But you really have to take a pause and say, do I want to be that person? Do I want to get after it today? Or am I just doing it because I feel like I need to? So sit with that for a minute and ask yourself that. I will say too is let's go back to the tool belt. Let's talk about some external and internal motivators that I like to recommend. I use as my own, and I think too, like, let's start with the 10-minute rule. So the 10-minute rule is something that I practice every day on my own. I make all my athletes do it. It's my first recommendation. If you're not sure if you want to do something, just promise yourself 10 minutes of movement. So if you're like, I don't want to run today, well, can you give yourself a 10-minute walk? Can you go run for 10 minutes to see how you feel? Because by then, I usually say a mile, 10 minutes, maybe, give or take. Anyways, by then your body is pretty much warmed up and you're able to really identify if you want to continue and if you don't. And so if you give yourself that 10-minute promise, you'll get out there and it's still a win for the day. You still did something, because I am a massive advocate for movement. It just doesn't mean it has to be super intense. But if you can go on a 10-minute walk, if you can put your phone down for 10 minutes, if you can think about like other things that you want to do, you'll know what your body needs. It just takes time. So give yourself the 10-minute rule whenever you're feeling like you don't want to do something, because I don't care who you are. I don't care if you think you're a runner or if you think you're an athlete, whatever that is, you can do something for 10 minutes. Like, I promise you, you can fold laundry for 10 minutes. You can have a horrible conversation with someone for 10 minutes. You can show up for yourself for 10 minutes. And that's the way I want you to think about it. So moving on into reframing your thoughts, ask yourself, am I worth it? Am I worth 10 minutes of movement? Am I worth reaching this goal that I have, whatever it is? I want to feel better in my body. I want to prove to myself that I can. I want to run without walking. Are you worth it? Do you believe you're worth it? And I want you to really think about that, because if you do, then you're worth the discomfort. You're worth pushing through the pain. I mean, again, with the contradictions, guys. But really think about that and ask yourself, if you're not feeling something, say, am I worth it? Am I worth this commitment to myself to get out and run, to want to be a new person, to want to feel better in my own body, to want to be able to play with my kids and not get tired, to want to be able to walk upstairs and not be out of breath? All of these things take small changes to be able to get where you're wanting to go. But you have to always come back to the idea that you're worth it. Because if you don't believe in yourself, I can't help you. Your teammates can't help you. The people in this chat can't help you. We can cheer you on and try to motivate you all you want, all we want, but until you're ready to show up for yourself and you know that you're truly worth it, nothing I say is going to get through, because you got to start with you. So, 10-minute rule, know that you're worth it, understand that you're truly worth it, and then let's move into your why. So why are you worth it? Why are you running? It can't just be to lose 10 pounds. You can lose 10 pounds many other ways. Is it, maybe because in school, when you had to run the mile, you couldn't do it? Is it because you see other people doing it and really enjoying it and you want to know what that feels like? Is it because you just want something for you? You want to enjoy it? You want to know what that's like to have something that's truly yours and no one else's? Whatever that is, know what your why is. Is it to do it for a loved one that can no longer run? Is it to show up for a friend or, a child, one of your children, or whatever that is? Know what your why is. And think about that too while you're running. Another thing too is, I think from there we can transition into mantras. So we talked about this a lot on day one. If you guys have any mantras, I would love to read them out loud in the chat. So please let me know what your running mantras are. But one thing that I will always do, if I have a hard workout coming up, a long run coming up, I will get out a pen, I'll get out a Sharpie, and I will write something on my hand. So the first thing that I recommend if you're new to mantras is just write I am on your hand. That's it. I am. And when you're running, I want you to look at that. And it's whatever you need at the time, you fill in the blank. I am strong. I am a runner. I am capable. I am freaking doing this. Whatever it is. I am is usually a really good one. I love I am. The other day when I was running, mine was I am phenomenally strong. And back to the conversation that we had yesterday, I was saying it out loud to myself. And being able to say it out loud to yourself is, again, it's kind of funny because you're like, all right, I hope no one can hear me. But at the same time, it's super motivating and it's super empowering. So if you guys are running and you're not feeling it, talk to yourself out loud. And it's okay if you think I'm a little nutty for doing this, but I want you to promise me that you'll try it at least once and let me know how it feels. So yeah, go through your mantras. Talk about I am, I can, I will. And then from there too, I think visualization is the most powerful of all of the things. And so when you are out on your runs, if you get to the point where you're like, this really hurts, this really sucks, this is super boring, whatever it is, you enter whatever the negative self-talk is. I can't do this. I'm too heavy. I'm too slow. I want you to stop. And I want you to visualize the runner that you want to be, the man or woman that you want to be. The reason that you started this journey, was it to get faster? Then I want you to visualize running that pace. Is it to complete a race, a 5K, a 10K, a marathon? Visualize yourself in that race. How good it's going to feel when you complete it. Understand that pain's going to come. That's fine, but visualize it. If you're, maybe you're up for a promotion at work or you're about to have a very serious conversation with someone, visualize that. Visualize you being promoted to that role that you really want. What is that going to feel like for you? What will your life look like when you're there? So while you're doing that, think of all these goals that you have. It doesn't have to be running related, but what is it buying a house? Is it having a kid? Is it losing weight? Whatever that is, visualize yourself in that moment, because I'm telling you, the endorphins are going to start moving. You're gonna feel incredible, and you'll notice that there's a smile on your face, and you're probably gonna forget that you're running because you're thinking about the future you, the one that you're showing up for today, so that he or she can be her best self in the future. And so that's one thing too that I think is super, super powerful, is visualizing yourself crossing that finish line, or, getting the promotion, buying the house, going on the trip. I mean, for Christ's sake, guys, we haven't been on in a vacation in probably over a year, so we're all due for a vacation. Let's visualize that beach vacation or the mountain vacation, whatever it is that we have been dying to go on, because that's going to be an easy one. Let me see. I have a couple of more notes today, and then of course, like music. I know people love music. If you need to play some music just to pump yourself up, what I say is find your 1 to 3 pump up songs. And let's see them in the chat. Mine is This Is Me by, it might be by Kesha from, oh gosh, guys, The Greatest Showman. I was gonna say the circus movie. I love that song, and anytime it plays, I know that there's nothing I can't do. I know I can run through a freaking wall. And so that's one of the songs in my arsenal. And you have to have one of those 3 songs ready for you at any time. And okay, I'm going to run. So I'm going to turn my brain off. I'm going to play the song. I'm going to put my running clothes on. I'm going to get out the door, and I'm going to freaking do it. So regardless of if you're team music or not, having that pre-run warm-up is essentially where you're just playing the music. You are actively turning your brain off. You're not thinking about what you're going to do. You're just going through the motions, and you're getting out the door. That's going to help you a lot. So let me know if this is helpful, if this is resonating with any of you all. I think that Money, Power, Respect, yes, it's a great song. I think that might be all I've got for you guys today. Just know that when it comes to motivating yourself for the long run, think of who you want to be this time next year. And it's probably not going to be someone that runs every single day. So that's okay. If it's someone who runs 2 to 3 times a week, I think that's a really awesome goal. And I think that's super respectable. So just think of it that way. Who do I want to be this time next year? It's not someone who's burnt out. It's not someone who's not taking care of herself or himself. It's someone who's having fun, who's taking care of their body, who can go out for a run and enjoy it. So always come back to that. Who do I want to be a month from now, 2 months from now, 3 years from now, whatever that looks like? And the answer better be a freaking runner, because that's what we're all here for. But yeah, so you guys know where to find me. I've had the most fun with you these past 3 days. I'll stick around for a little bit if there's questions in the chat. As always, if you're interested in coaching, please comment Mindful Fam. I will be announcing the giveaway winners. I really want to on Friday, but give me until Sunday just in case anything comes up. But that's all I've got for you guys today. Please, with my mantras, with every step I get stronger. Yes, that's an incredible mantra, Mark. One of my mantras, which is kind of funny, is I'll say to myself, butter, like the word butter, like these miles should feel smooth as butter, smooth as getting a warm knife and slicing it through butter. I'll do that too when I need to check my form. But it's really funny because I always just say to myself, like, butter baby, we're smooth as butter, we got this. And I always speed up when I do that. So that's if you want like a funny mantra to try on, that's a good one. But okay, I'm not seeing any more comments or questions, so I'm gonna let you guys go. I so appreciate you all being here. More than anything, I appreciate you showing up for yourself, taking these 20 to 30 minutes out of your day every single day. Just know that you're worth it. You know where to find me. If I can ever be of any help, always send me a message. I'm happy to chat. And thanks so much, everyone.